Hi folks, how are you? Well, I did it. I'm one of those guys that went to Turkey and got a hair transplant. And I'm actually glad I did. There's a lot of YouTube content creators out there and a lot of people that are showing you their process, and this is just another one of those videos showing you my process, what I went through, and the results that have come of it. So follow along. Before you watch this video, I have to say viewer discretion is advised. I've got some graphic video and some pictures of what it looks like after the procedure is done. It wasn't really that bad, but it doesn't look nice. And if you're a little bit squeamish when it comes to things like that, or you have young children, it's best not to watch that part of the video. And there'll be timestamps, so you can just move on past it. Okay, so actually it started for me thinking that my hair is thinning. I'm 55 years old. My hair is thinning. I wasn't comfortable with the way I was looking. I don't think I really needed a hair transplant procedure done, but I went for one anyways because the opportunity presented itself. So I decided to go to Turkey, as most people do. Now Turkey's quite famous for that these days, and they're quite good at it. I went to a place called Hermest. Hermest, and I'll leave a link. Now, I just did the procedure 5 days ago. I was in Turkey. Now you can see I did some on the front here. As you can see, I don't want to move my hair too much because it's still kind of gentle. And all the donor area was back here. So it's still growing out. I was lucky, I did the DHI procedure. Now the DHI procedure allowed me to keep a lot of my hair, as you can see, which is pretty cool. I was quite happy with that. The procedure is really good for women because they're able to keep their hair while they get the transplant procedure done. I didn't really need to keep the hair on my head. It wasn't necessary, but I thought, why not? You know, it looks kind of funky in a way. I've never had my hair cut like this, but to be perfectly honest, when it comes to the post-op process, like now that I'm going through washing your hair and taking care of it, I think it would have been a lot easier if I didn't have this hair on my head. But it's still perfectly fine. It works out okay. So the only way they can do this is if you do the DHI procedure, and you can figure out which one is going to be best for you. And during the consultation, they'll also help you at the clinic that you choose. Now I'll tell you what I did. I didn't actually fly into Istanbul airport, the international airport designated IST, Istanbul International. I didn't fly there. Now, you know, many people know that Istanbul is one of those only countries or only cities on the planet that's divided into two continents. Half of Istanbul is on the Asian continent, and half of Istanbul is on the European continent, divided by the Bosphorus. So I was on the Asian side of Istanbul. I flew into an airport with the identifier SAW, Sabina Gökçen Airport. That's the airport that I flew into. I didn't fly into Istanbul International, which kind of made it nicer because it's a smaller airport. It's easier to get out, get in. The clinic picked me up right at the airport. There's a little guy holding a sign with my name. They picked me up, really nice, comfortable van. All right, so now I'm in the transportation that's taking me over to my accommodation, and I'm having the operation tomorrow. We'll see what it works out like tomorrow when I make my first visit to the hospital. The hotel was already pre-booked by the clinic. It's a nice 4-star hotel. I'll leave it. I stayed there for the day that I arrived, obviously. The next morning, I had an appointment with the clinic. I got picked up by their drivers in a very nice vehicle, drove me over to where the clinic is. All right, so in the morning they come over with a private vehicle and they pick you up and they take you over to the clinic. Really nice van. And they're gonna get rid of all this hair and they're gonna plug some new hair into my head. And I'm gonna go for the Billie Eilish look, maybe a little green. And we did the consultation. They had to look at my head. Now I'd have to say previous to this, I was communicating with them on WhatsApp. And I sent them pictures of my head, so they can look at the pictures before I got there. Now, when I did get there, of course, the doctor examined my head. They took some blood to make sure, all the testing for HIV and all the other things. And that was it. That took a few minutes, and then we went straight into it. They numb your head, and I'd have to say, to be honest, you guys, anybody listening, that was probably the most painful part of it all, is when they numb your head. Of course, it's necessary. When they poke the needles in your head to numb you all over, it's not just one, they poke the needles all over your head. Yeah, that was probably the most painful part. I don't think it was much more painful than getting a tattoo in a sensitive area kind of thing, And then they just took all the hairs out of the donor area. Now, I did 3,500 grafts. Other people get more and stuff, but for me, 3,500, that's kind of a lot, right? And then straight away, the doctor came in and they started doing the DHI procedure of putting one hair in at a time. Now the DHI procedure, you guys can do the research on that and how it's done, but it's actually a very clean procedure. They don't have to cut your scalp or anything. They just poke all the hairs back in your head. I got most of it done right here, and I got some right on the crown. All right, folks, I'm gonna stop the video here. Now is the time that you might want to skip ahead, because for those who are a little bit squeamish for some of the things that you might see, you might not want to see the next couple of pictures or videos. Viewer discretion is advised, okay? Thanks for watching, though. So what I did after that procedure, we were done. And the whole procedure, from the time that I walked into the clinic and to the time that I walked out of the clinic, 3,500 grafts, took 6 hours. And that was it. And I was outside. So I think I got there around 11 o'clock and I was out by 5, all wrapped up and bandaged up, all this area here, as you can see in some of the pictures. And basically felt fine, just went for dinner, hung out a little bit difficult sleeping that night because, you have a neck brace and you have a neck pillow like you do when you travel on airplanes, on those neck pillows. All right, here it is. I'm back in my hotel room. Look at that head. Look at that head. That looks terrible, right? And it's even the back of the crown of my head back there somewhere, according to whoever. But that's what it is, man. You got to sleep with this neck pillow. Can't touch anything. All this stuff what's bandaged up is all the donor area where they pulled all my hair out. And that's where they planted it again, especially and somewhere on the crown of my head. Ouch. You have to lay on your back. You can't roll over and do all that crazy stuff. You have to just kind of lay like a zombie on your back. And of course, it wasn't very comfortable because I just had all the hairs pulled out of the back of my head. And that was operation day. Now on day 2, got up in the morning, did the normal thing, had breakfast and everything. But for me, because I'm a bit of a party guy, I drink a lot. I'm a coffee drinker as well. It seems that my blood was quite thin, so I actually bled a lot. So in the night, there was a lot of blood on my bandage and stuff. So having said that, you guys who are like me, who drink a lot and party a lot, it might be a good idea not to do that a few days before, a week before, or whatever. I was partying and stuff 2 days before I went to Turkey. And yeah, it probably wasn't a good idea because I ended up bleeding a lot as a result. It wasn't a pleasant experience for me. I talked to a lot of people that were there because I met a lot of people who were doing the same procedure, and they had no issues at all. They were barely bleeding or anything else. I had the problem just because of my life, my lifestyle, things like that. So you might want to think about that. This is 24 hours later. I go back to the clinic. Again, they pick me up at the hotel. They take me to the clinic in their private car. They take the band-aids off and they wash the area.
First, you have to rinse the foam.
Holy shit!
If you want, you can hold my hand.
You're such an idiot.
I'm serious.
Oh, that stings like
I saw this before.
Holy shit, that stings.
Doesn't feel like it. Okay. First, you have to apply the shampoo on the transplant area, like vertical movements from back to front, like this. And
Okay.
with your fingertips or palms, not nail. Okay.
Oh, not nail.
Very gentle. Think it's a baby head right now. Okay.
That's crazy. This stuff doesn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
I'm amazed how much the back actually hurts.
Okay, now rinse the shampoo. And right now, you're gonna wash the donor area. On contrary, you have to a little bit rough and make massage when you wash. It can be hurt, but it should be like this, okay? This size.
Oh, well, that is very painful,
Yes,
actually.
but don't move, okay? You can get that. It's part of the healing process. It's gonna be alright in 3 days, don't worry.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's...
Okay, it's almost done.
Wow, that's painful, man. Man, I was seeing stars. It was really, really painful. You know, just the air blowing on it was painful. Where the grafts are, where the transplanted grafts are, no pain whatsoever. Nothing. Even until today, no pain whatsoever. Nothing. I can touch it and stuff. I don't want to touch it because I don't want to mess them up. But all the pain is to be honest, is all from the donor area. I mean, now I can touch it. It's quite okay, but it's still quite tender. So they did the wash. They told me to just go home. Took all the bandages off. I was just like this, and they said, "Okay, you're good to go." They gave me a lot of shampoos and things like that I need to maintain the condition and make sure my hair grows properly. So I got vitamins, some serums that I got to put on later on after a couple of months, you know, to stimulate the hair growth and things like that. Plus on WhatsApp, they communicate with me every day. And we'll see how it goes now. Now I'm into day 5. Every morning I have to follow a ritual of putting certain foams on my head to get the scabs off, and then certain shampoos and the way I shampoo and things like that. And that has to be followed for a period of time. So basically, I was gone for 3 days. From the day that I left on the 15th. I did the procedure on the 16th. They washed and cleaned my head up on the 17th. On the 17th night I left. So I was in Turkey really like 2 days maximum, and I was home. And when I got home, the only thing you have to make sure you do is wear the neck pillow all the time and lay on your back. Don't roll over. You can't do anything. For the first 10 days is quite critical, basically 2 weeks. And what that revolves around is the time it takes for the scabs that are on your follicles to kind of fall off. All the scabbing goes away. And once all the scabbing goes away, you can start living like a normal person. You can wear a cap, or if it's cold, you can wear kind of a hat, but not helmets or anything like that. During this 2 weeks, you shouldn't drink coffee. You shouldn't drink alcohol because it affects your blood and affects the growth of your hair. And the other thing is you can't go to the gym for a month or any physical exercise that makes you sweat. Is again not good for your hair, not good for your head follicles and stuff like that. So basically, you get a month to chill and do nothing. Now I do have to say, my hair is already growing on the side of my head over here quite quickly. I'm actually quite astonished on how fast my hair is growing in the donor area. This is a little bit of a follow-up video. Now it's been officially 3 months since I had the operation for my hair. It's feeling really good, and for me it looks okay. I'm doing this with my hair wet now, so you can see it a little bit better, but you see how it's all growing in here? All this stuff is growing in quite nicely, actually. And the difference for me is that most people have their hair fall out. They have that ugly duckling phase, or however you like to term it. I didn't have that. Maybe some of the hair fell out, I'm not too sure. But it's actually doing a pretty good job. I'm quite happy with it. Alright, well here's a little look at my hair when it's a little bit drier than it was earlier. and it looks a little fuller, you know what I mean, but it's still very, very good for the transplant that I received. All through here. I like it a lot. It's growing faster than I imagined it would. 3 months to the day almost. 3 months in 4 days. Well, like I said, I don't know if you can see properly the donor area and things, you know, now that it's a little more dry. It's actually quite okay, you know. So, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I'm quite happy with the procedure so far. All right, folks, I'm back, and this is going to be my last video on my hair. And I did this hair transplant in Turkey. Absolutely fantastic place. Pre-op, post-op, follow-ups, everything great. Really good job with my hair. Look at that. It's grown in really nicely. I mean, look at this. It's fantastic. It's really grown in well. And I never had any problems with it from day one. I have no complaints whatsoever. All my hair, my donor area. Now I keep my donor area naturally short because of the position I'm in my career and what have you. I have to have kind of a short haircut like this. It's required. But look at that. It's fantastic. I love my hair. I love how much of it I have. It's been now 6 months, almost exactly. 3 more days, it'll be exactly 6 months since I've done the procedure. And I have absolutely no complaints about it. It's grown in as they said it would. It's fantastic. I've already had 3 haircuts since I had the procedure. It's been growing like a weed. Absolutely wonderful. Question is, would I do it again if given the chance? 100% yes. Would I recommend you guys to do it, or anybody to do it? 100% yes. It's fantastic. I'm really, really happy with the results. It's getting better and better every day, and I notice it month by month. Amazing. Highly recommended. And I went to a place called Hermst in Turkey. They were fantastic. They did a great job. Really, really great job. And here's the proof to look. I mean, it's just really nice hair. I'm happy that I have it. Okay, just so you know, the only thing that I did during this 6 months of my healing process here was use a proper shampoo that was given to me by the clinic. And I used this shampoo, you can see it properly. It's a natural plant-based product. It's actually quite good. I used this every day when I went to shampoo. After I shampooed, I used this hair treatment. And I also used some vitamins that were given to me by the clinic. Just these, and it's just biotin and creatine supplements, 1,000 mils. I was supposed to take these twice a day, but I didn't take them twice a day. I only took them once a day. That's all I did. I used the shampoo, I used the serum, I took my vitamins. I did nothing else. My hair grew in just nice. I'm quite happy with the way it looks. It's quite strong. No side effects. My donor area hair grew in really nice, and I've had several haircuts already to keep it short. So all in all, great job done. Great clinic that I went to. Highly recommended. And anybody thinking of doing it, don't hesitate. It's great. Helicopter. But there's a helicopter going over my head right now. Why does that always happen? All right, right over my house. Okay, I digress. Back to what I was saying. Now,